Guys, today I'm filming my palette of the month review video on the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette. If you guys have never seen any of my palette of the month review videos, I will have my playlist linked down below. I was inspired to create this series by Amanda Alexander, or Fashion Footing on all of her social media. And basically a couple years back, Amanda had done a palette of the week on her Instagram, and then she posted a roundup review video at the end of the year. I will have that video linked down below. And originally I started this series because I used to neglect my palettes and I wanted to come up with multiple looks using them. Since then, I've really fallen in love with palettes. I've gotten so many more, so I'm really happy that I decided to do this series. But basically, it's just really in-depth reviews on a palette showing you multiple looks I created using it. So starting with the packaging of this palette, I think it is absolutely beautiful. You have this subtle pink to purple ombre. It says You Had Me at Hello on the front, and this is that soft touch packaging where gunk can get stuck to it, but it isn't as bad as the Yes Please palette. I think that this is something that would be easier to clean off. And then on the back, you do have all of the shade names, and you guys probably already know this by now, but I figured that I would mention it. So in the ColourPop palettes, the colors go left to right, then you flip over the palette and the shade names go from left to right. So if you look at a color here, directly on the back is not going to match up. It's going to be the opposite way. Like I said, I'm sure you guys probably know that by now, but I did want to mention it. I get so turned around when I'm doing a video and I'm trying to name the shadow. I can get so confused by that, and I have to like reorient myself. So a little bit annoying, but it's not that bad. And also with the You Had Me at Hello palette, it does have a little mirror, and this is the only palette from ColourPop that includes a mirror. I think they're probably just testing it out to see what people's opinions were on it. So this palette is $2 more than their other palettes. So instead of $16, it is $18, but ColourPop had so many different sales on their website and on their palettes throughout the holiday season, so hopefully they will continue to do that if you guys want to get this for a little bit of a cheaper price. But I do still think $18 is a really good price for getting 12 eyeshadows, and these are smaller than their standard shadows, but I still think you get a ton of product, and having a 12 pan shadow palette for $18 is incredible. Also, this is a cardboard packaging with a magnetic closure, which you guys know is my favorite kind of packaging, and this magnet is quite strong. So absolutely love the packaging. I think it's beautiful. So now I'm going to show you all of the shades with swatches, and I'm also going to include some dupe pictures that I got from Temptalia.com. Temptalia has a fantastic feature on her website where you can compare any two shades, and she also will have reviews of palettes or different products, and then have a feature where you can look up dupes for them. So I will be inserting those pictures. All of those came from Temptalia. Complete credit goes to her. The Knot is a metallic cool tone ivory. Moonstruck is a metallic soft gold. Two Peas is a matte peachy beige. Candygram is a metallic pinky red with gold duochrome. Winning Ticket is a matte dusty mauve pink. FBO is a metallic pink violet. Looksee is a matte cool tone plum. Fool's Rush is a metallic golden bronze. Pulling Strings is a matte warm saddle brown. Want You Back is a matte dusty mauve brown. DTR is a metallic silvery taupe. Sparks Fly is a matte deep plummy brown. The Knot, Moonstruck, Two Peas, Candygram, Winning Ticket, FBO, Looksee, Fool's Rush, Pulling Strings, Want You Back, DTR, Sparks Fly.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. all because of you.
In this palette, you do have some cool tones, some warm tones, some really pretty rosy tones. So I think they did a good job having a good variety of undertones in this palette without making it look too random. I think these all go together really nicely, and I also love the base color of the packaging. I think that makes these shadows even more flattering looking. Another thing I love about the color selection in this palette is that they did not include a matte cream or a matte black. And I know for some people those are staples that they want in every single palette, but for me, I would rather be able to try out a fun, different color and just get a standard single. Wet n Wild Brulee is a great matte cream, and Wet n Wild Panther is a great matte black. I would much rather buy those 99-cent singles than have them included in every single palette that I own. So I really enjoy that they did not include that. They have a wonderful dark brown, got a couple of inner corner highlight shades, but they did not include those two colors, which I'm happy about because I was able to try a lot more different shades. So now I'm going to show you all of the looks that I created with this palette. I came up with 6 different looks, and basically I created a look around all 6 of the shimmery shades in this palette. I could have done an all matte look, but I don't go for that too often. But for each of these looks, I only use the shadows in the palette. I did not pull any additional shades. So now I'll show you the details of those looks. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm wearing Candygram on my lid, Winning Ticket as my crease color, and Look-See as my outer corner color. Here what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing the Balm Instain Blush in Houndstooth. On my lips, I'm wearing the ColourPop Lippie Stick in the Matte X Finish in the shade Cami. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I have DTR on my lid, Winning Ticket as my transition color, and Look-See as my crease color. On my cheeks, I'm wearing MAC Breath of Plum. On my lips, I'm wearing the Sephora Cream Lip Stain in number 14, Blackberry Sorbet. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm wearing FBO on my lid, Winning Ticket as my transition color, and Look-See as my crease color. Here what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing the Clinique Cheek Pop in Heather Pop. On my lips, I'm wearing the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Queen Bee. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm wearing Fool's Rush on my lid, Two Peas as my transition color, Pulling Strings as my crease color, and Want You Back as my outer corner color. Here what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm using the Balm Instain Blush in Houndstooth. On my lips, I'm wearing the Anastasia Liquid Lipstick in the shade Catnip. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm wearing Moonstruck on my lid, Two Peas as a transition color, and Pulling Strings as a crease color. And here what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing MAC Mineralized Blush in Warm Soul. On my lips, I'm wearing the ColourPop Ultra Blotted Lip in the shade Zuma. Here is today's look using my palette of the month. From the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello palette, I'm wearing The Knot on my lid, Winning Ticket as my transition color, and Look-See as my crease color. Here what the eyes look like up close. On my cheeks, I'm wearing the Balm Instain Blush in Houndstooth. On my lips, I'm wearing the Lime Crime Velveteen Liquid Lipstick in the shade Faded. So now to talk about the formula, the texture, and the pigmentation. ColourPop has released a bazillion palettes so far, but the only ones that I've tried out would be the Yes Please and the You Had Me at Hello. I did just purchase the Give It To Me Straight, but I haven't tested that one out yet. And I would say that the formula of this palette is pretty on par and consistent with the Yes Please palette and their individual shadows, but with some of these shades I did have a slight bit of trouble. So as I said, in this palette you do have 6 different metallic shades. These 3 here and those 3, and then the rest are mattes. You don't have any satins in this palette, which I like. I don't love matte shadows with glitter in them or satin shadows. I would rather it be straight shimmery metallic and straight matte. So I love that they did that with the finishes. But in this palette, the 3 shimmers on the top row I found to be very, very chunky and flaky. When I was putting my brush in here, it wasn't even just normal powder kick up. It looked a little bit more chunky. Also on my lid today, I'm wearing the shade The Knot, and I feel like it looks kind of chunky. Not too bad. I was able to get it to smooth out, but I feel like if you have a lot of lines in your lids, those aren't going to be that flattering because they just looked a little chunky. This shade on the end, Candygram, that one swatches chunky, but on the eye it didn't look that bad. But it was really these 2 lighter shades here that swatched, applied, and looked kind of chunky, and I think I'll still reach for them. That isn't that big of a deal, but I was really disappointed by that because these others apply, swatch really, really smoothly. So I wish that all of the shimmers went on that way. So that is definitely a bit of a bummer that I wanted to mention. The mattes, however, are all very consistent, and these do have a good bit of powdery kick up. I don't mind. I find that they're really easy to apply, build, and blend out. So I do love the formula of the mattes, but I'm not head over heels in love with the formula of the shimmers. Another thing I wanted to mention is that with these shimmers, I find that you really do need to apply a cream colored base underneath them to get the eyeshadow to adhere to your eye and also to get it to be the most vibrant and metallic. And I don't think that's necessarily a negative because for me, I use a cream colored base with every single powder shadow. I use it with everything except my ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So while I don't think that's a negative, I do think it is necessary to get the most longevity and the most metallic looking effect on the eyes. So I would definitely recommend that, and because it's something I normally do, as I said, it isn't something that bothers me. But those are my basic thoughts on the formula and the texture and the pigmentation of these palettes. They're super duper pigmented, one swipe. I do build up the color a bit, but these aren't sheer in any capacity, so I do really appreciate that. So now to show you my favorite shades from this palette, there are 3, and I used them all together to create a look, which was my favorite look using this palette. It may have been my very first look I created, and that would be using Candygram on the lid, Winning Ticket as my transition color, and Looksy as my crease color. I think that these shades are so beautiful, and while they might not seem the most unique, something about these undertones makes them very different, especially this shade Winning Ticket. I think is a really cool rosy shade, and this is stunning. This Candygram, it reminds me of MAC Rose pigment, but obviously it is a pressed shadow, so it has a stronger base. I absolutely love all of those shades together, and those 2 transition and crease color I used with a bunch of these different shades to create different looks, which you guys have already seen. So to give you guys my final thoughts on this palette, I really do wish that all of the shimmer shades performed equally as well. I'm very bummed that those 3 shades are a little bit flaky and chunky, and I absolutely am in love with Candygram, Winning Ticket, and Looksy. I think those shades are absolutely incredible, but I'm not in love with the shades in this palette. I think that they're beautiful, but considering I have a ton of palettes in my collection right now, I can really only see myself reaching for this palette if I want to create a look with my 3 favorite shades. And I'm really bummed by that. I was hoping to love this even more. Now it's a good quality and the colors are pretty, but I have these other shades in other palettes, but in versions where I like the colors a little bit more. So if I could depot those 3 shades and get rid of this palette, I could see myself doing that. Now I know that it's possible, but I really hate depotting palettes. Like, I'm gonna give this to someone with 3 shades missing. I know my sister actually would love this palette, but I don't know if she would love it if I took out those 3 shades. So I'm a little bummed because the swatches of this palette looked amazing. I loved the overall look, and I still think it's gorgeous, but I know that I'm probably not going to reach for this palette unless I'm wanting to create that one specific look. I think the formula is good. I say it just totally depends on whether you like the shades or not. So guys, that was my palette of the month review video on the ColourPop You Had Me At Hello palette. I would love to know your thoughts if you've tested out this palette in the comments down below. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.